Now, these English victories, such as the one at Crecy in 1346, showed that the English armies performed so much better than their French counterparts that the French took refuge in cities and refused open battle. This led the English to develop something called the chevauchée, army sized raids that destroyed or confiscated everything in their path, far worse and far more extensive than Sherman's march to the sea during the American Civil War or anything like it. In its first great raid, in its first great raid of the Hundred Years' War, the army of Edward III burned villages, churches, monasteries, and hospitals, devastated grain fields, and slaughtered French civilians by the hundred. Thousands more fled to the relative safety of the fortified cities, only to perish from famine and disease. Subsequent chevauchés were sometimes on an even larger scale. And when conducting these raids, the English army resembled an ambient, marauding city, complete with its own facilities to process what it plundered. A French chronicler describes one such expedition in 1359, and I'm quoting here. On this campaign, the great English lords and men of substance took with them tents of various sizes, mills for grinding corn, ovens for baking, forges for shoeing the horses, and all other necessities. To carry this, they had fully 88,000 wagons, each drawn by good, strong roundsies, which they had brought over from England. They also carried on the wagons a small number of boats. Each could take 3 men over the biggest lake or pond to fish whatever part of it they liked. Their army was always divided into 3 bodies, each moving independently with its own vanguard and rear guard and halting for the night 3 miles behind the preceding one. They kept this formation the whole way from Calais until they reached the city of Chartres. It's a distance of nearly 200 miles. And so basically, the English army is carrying along everything it needs to fish for all the fish in any lakes or ponds that it happens to encounter, to mill into flour any of the wheat that it encounters, and so on. These are very systematic, destructive raids. And one of the things that they were intended to accomplish, in addition to this destructiveness in for its own sake, was also to demonstrate the impotence of the French monarch to protect them. And the first obligation of any government is to protect its populace. And so the English king is in essence saying, I'm your rightful king. You understand this. According to the rights of succession, as I understand them, I am the king of France. And guess what? Your king that claims your allegiance cannot protect you. I can, if you will simply lay down your arms and come over to my side. So the chevauchés then had a very pronounced psychological effect, as well as a strictly military one. Now, gradually, the French nonetheless pushed back the English. But the English did win a much storied battle in 1415 when an English army of between 6,000 and 9,000 under Henry V defeated a French army variously estimated at between 12,000 and 36,000. About a third were knights and men at arms, although only about 1,200 knights fought mounted. And at Crécy and Poitiers, the longbowmen played a decisive role. So what I want to do is stop here, and I'm going to have you watch 2 videos. The first is an overview of the Battle of Agincourt. The second one is a famous rendition of the St. Crispin's Day speech in Shakespeare's Henry V, which commemorates this Battle of Agincourt. It's one of the great battle speeches in the entire English language. So we'll pause here. I'll pick this up on the other side.